Hello out there, this is Jack here at the Talk School of English in Phnom Penh, Cambodia. Please call us if you're thinking of taking an English course. Our new weekend term will start Saturday, March 16th. New weekday term on Monday, March 18th. What we're going to talk about today is words that make the same sound and using them in the same sentence, but they don't mean the same thing. Let me show you some examples and you'll see what I mean. The clouds blew through the blue sky. Well, we have two words, blue and blue. Well, you're familiar with this second one. This is the color. It's the color of the sky during the daytime. Blue is the past tense of blow, like when the wind blows. And if you look up in the sky with some white clouds up there, you'll see the clouds blowing by. So be careful when you're speaking and don't get confused when you're listening. I write with my right hand. And that's true for about 3 out of every 4 people living in the world. The other 1 out of 4 write with their left hand. But for the rest of us, we write with our right hand. These words are spelled differently, sound exactly the same. Can be a little confusing for the listener if you're new to English. Here we have 2 words that sound exactly the same and they are right next to each other in the sentence. We ate 8 chocolate candies. 8 is the past tense of eat. And this is the number 8. This is what we did. This is how many. And finally, here we have 3 words in the same sentence that sound exactly the same, but do not mean the same thing. They're waiting over there with their mother. There is spelled 3 different ways here. T-H-E-Y apostrophe R-E. What this means is they are waiting, but we pronounce it there. They're waiting over there. T-H-E-R-E suggests a place. They're waiting over there with their mother. A possessive word, mom belongs to them. Maybe there's some small children over there. They're waiting over there with their mother. 3 different theirs in the same sentence. If you have any questions about words that sound the same, please feel free to contact us here at the school. Don't forget, we also have a YouTube channel now, also called Talk School of English. And as always, thank you very much for watching. Hello everybody, this is Jack at the Talk School of English right here in Phnom Penh, Cambodia, the largest city, capital city, and cultural center of beautiful Cambodia. If you're thinking of learning English, again, as always, give us a call, set up an appointment, come in and speak personally to me, and let's see where we place you in our school. The lesson today, speak, listen, think. Just a few examples of how English speakers might express these 3 words, or these 3 things. So first, speaking. Now, I wouldn't say, let's have a speak. I wouldn't do that. Speaking is what I do, but it is the same thing as talking. But I might use the word talk in a couple of different ways. So here we go. We're having a discussion. We're having a discussion, and it suggests we're talking about something that might be rather important to us as well. We're having a talk. So talk could be a noun or a verb. To talk to me is to do something. To have a talk with me is something. One is a verb, one is a noun, same word. Or we could just say we're having a conversation. To converse with somebody simply means to talk to them. Well, That's what comes out of our mouth, but what about what goes into our ears, the listening part? So for example, I could say, I want to hear this, but I could also say, I want to listen to this. Either way, I'm saying the same exact thing. Maybe you're playing a song that I like. I want to use my ears and pay attention. And finally, how about the thinking part? Well, how can we express this? There's a couple of different ways. If I want to compliment you, I could say, that's a good thought. Or I could say, that's a good idea. Often means the same thing. If you have any questions, as always, please feel free to contact us here at the school. Please hit the like button. Don't forget that we are now also on a YouTube channel, Talk School of English. See you there. Thank you. Hello again, everyone. This is Jack here at the Talk School of English in Phnom Penh. Today is Friday, November 30th. Don't forget that our new weekend term is starting tomorrow, December 1st. There is still time. Please contact us and arrange to take a small placement test. Today, speaking of food, we're going to give a few examples of how English speakers will use food to make a point and communicate. So here's our examples today. Spill the beans. What does that mean, to spill the beans? Well, think of beans in a bowl and spilling them out of the bowl onto the table or on the floor. But when someone says that to you, it means tell the truth. It also suggests that you've known the truth for a while now and you've been keeping it to yourself. Time to spill the beans. Now, how about if you're acting like a hot dog? Well, another name for a hot dog is a Frankfurter, but I never hear anybody say that you're acting like a Frankfurter. But if you're acting like a hot dog, you're behaving like a show-off. Maybe there's something you can do well. Maybe you're a great singer and you're singing at a party in front of everybody. You're being a hot dog. And finally, the crowd went bananas. What does that mean? Let's say you're at a football game and the home team scores a goal and they win the game and the crowd goes wild. It means the crowd, the audience, cheered wildly. They went bananas. As always, our friendly staff here at the school is happy to answer any questions you may have. And as always, you'll find us right here on our Facebook page. Thank you. Hello again, everyone, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is Jack here at the Talk School of English in Phnom Penh, Cambodia. Don't forget, if you're looking to learn English, give me a call. Set up an appointment. I will personally do your placement test. Now, what we're going to do today is learn about teaching and learn about learning. How do English speakers express that I've taught you something or you have taught me something? So let's take a look. First, I could say, please enlighten me. To enlighten someone, or the word enlightenment, suggests higher learning, real intellectual stuff, okay? Not only did you teach me something, but you taught me something very valuable. And as you can see, you have the word light here. You have shed light where previously there was darkness. How about, I was taught a lesson? Now, if you're a student in a classroom, well, you go in for a lesson every day. But it doesn't necessarily mean I was at school. To be taught a lesson just simply means that somebody showed me or told me about something that I previously did not know. I'll show you the ropes. What do ropes have to do with teaching and learning? Show me the ropes? How are you going to teach me something by showing me a rope? Well, if you think back to sailing ships from hundreds of years ago, in order to raise and lower the sails on the ship, if you watch movies about this time, you'll see a lot of men on the ship, and some of them are pulling ropes, and some of them are letting ropes give slack so they can get the sails in a certain position, or just get them up or get them down. So to show somebody the ropes suggests that you're going to teach them something, but you're going to teach them something that's going to require learning with their hands, okay? Maybe you're going to teach me some kind of manual labor. That's showing me the ropes. And if you learned anything from these three terms that I put here first, then that means you got schooled. If you got schooled, that means you learned something. Somebody taught you something. Hopefully, it was something valuable. Now, please don't forget, we are also on YouTube now at Talk School of English. Go to your YouTube search engine. You will find us with these and similar lessons. As always, you'll find us right here on our Facebook page. Thank you. Hello again, everyone. Thank you for joining us. This is Jack here at the Talk School of English in Phnom Penh. Our new weekend term did just start. However, please call and contact us and schedule a placement test. It takes only a short amount of time and we can still get you a seat for our weekend term. Today, how do English speakers let each other know that it's too hot? Well, I know that to Cambodians, December can be a very cold month, but to foreigners like me, every day is a tropical summer day in Cambodia. So how do I tell the people back home where I'm from that it's too hot? Well, let's look at some of the terms I like to use. Now, I could call my kids on the phone and say, I'm baking right now. Baking is what we do in an oven. When it's your birthday, we bake a cake. You can also bake a chicken or just about anything you like. Sometimes I might say, I'm melting. I'm melting right now. Well, melting is what, say, an ice cube does if you leave it sitting in the sun, or your ice cream, or anything else that's frozen. You leave it in the heat, it will melt. I'm wilting out here, it's so hot. What does wilting mean in English? Well, picture a flower. Take a fresh new flower and pick it out of the ground and leave it in the sun. And watch what happens within a couple of hours. The flower begins to wilt. Whereas it's standing up nice and straight, the flower starts to droop over and die. And when I'm in extreme heat, sometimes that's how I feel, like a dying flower. Or I could just say I'm cooking out here. Cooking is anything. It could be baking, frying, who knows, steam heating, I don't know. The point is if you tell somebody that you're cooking, then they know that you are really having trouble with the temperature. And finally, as the last example, I'll say I'm frying. Frying is what I do with eggs in a pan. I do it before I eat them because I like them nice and hot. And if I feel like I am the one who's in the frying pan, trust me, I'm not a happy foreigner right now. If you have any questions, our friendly staff is always happy to answer them. And as always, you can find us right here on our Facebook page. Thank you. Hello again, everyone. You know, this is Jack here at the Talk School of English in Phnom Penh. Please come and join us for a placement test. You know that we have a new weekend term starting on Saturday, January 5th, and the new weekday term starts on Tuesday, January 8th. Now, what we're going to talk about in this little lesson is words of fear. Words of fear. If I feel fear, I'm not very comfortable. And let's give some examples here. I'm scared of ghosts. Saying that I'm scared is another way of saying that I'm feeling the emotion of fear. Maybe you're not scared of ghosts, but I am. I've never seen one, but I know if I ever do someday, I'm probably going to be scared. He's afraid of heights. Afraid of heights. Also known as acrophobia in English. It means that you don't like being in high up places. Standing at the top of your building, looking down at the street, is not what makes you comfortable. She's horrified by the sight of blood. Horrified. Think of the horror movies that you've seen. Horrified doesn't just mean that I'm scared or afraid. It means I'm super scared or I'm super afraid. Also, if she's horrified by the sight of blood, she probably shouldn't get a job at the hospital. And finally, our last example, I'm terrified of airplanes. Terrified is similar to the word terrible. They are cousins, these two words. And if I'm terrified of something, it's very similar to horrified. It means it's something that I think is terrible and I have fear of it. And a lot of people are afraid to fly. Some people are very uncomfortable in airplanes. You may know someone who is. If you have any questions, please contact our staff here at the school. They will be happy to help you. And as always, you'll find us right here on our Facebook page. Thank you. Hello again, everybody. This is Jack here at the Talk School of English in Phnom Penh, the capital city of the Kingdom of Cambodia. Our new weekend term will be starting on Saturday, March 16th, and our new weekday term will be starting on Monday, March 18th. Please feel free to give us a call, set up an appointment, and come in for a placement test. What we're going to talk about today is words that sound the same. I have 3 examples on the board. They sound the same, but they are spelled differently and have very different meanings. Here's our first example. Fourth, F-O-R-T-H, F-O-U-R-T-H. So the first one means simply forward. I can step forth. It means I step forward. F-O-U-R-T-H is simply of the number 4. For example, my birthday comes on the 4th of March this year. Second example, seen, S-E-E-N, S-C-E-N-E, pronounced exactly the same. The first one, past participle of see. I've seen that movie several times now, as if it happened in the past. Seen, S-C-E-N-E, could be a place. The scene I'm at now is at my school. Or it could be a small part of a movie or a play. I could even say, yes, I've seen that scene in the movie. Last example, shoot. These are spelled very differently. S-H-O-O-T. Then we have one of those C-H words that sounds like it has an S-H in it instead. C-H-U-T-E. Now the first one is to eject a projectile or reach for a goal. To eject a projectile. What is that? Well, for example, when you're shooting a gun, the projectile is the bullet. The ejection or ejecting is when it comes out of the barrel of the gun. Or it could be to reach for a goal. I'm going to shoot for a better paying job this year. Or if you're a football fan, you literally shoot the ball with your foot for a goal. Now, C-H-U-T-E, shoot. Well, that means a small passageway. Not large enough to get a person through, but maybe smaller objects. For example, in some cities, buildings have what's called a garbage chute. So instead of having to take your garbage all the way downstairs, you open a small door in the wall and you put the garbage bag in there, and it slides down to the basement where it will be collected at a later time. If you have any questions, please feel free to call us. Don't forget that we also have a YouTube channel now, also known as the Talk School of English. And again, thank you for viewing us here on our Facebook page. Hello out there, YouTubers. This is Jack here at the Talk School of English in beautiful Phnom Penh, the capital of the Kingdom of Wonder, Cambodia. What we're going to talk about today is how English speakers might say, yes, you can. So we have 6 examples on the board. Let's take a look at how English speakers use these words. Now, first of all, we could say, I will allow you to do this. To be allowed to do something means, yes, you can do it. Go right ahead It's fine with me. How about this one here? Permit. I permit you to enter. We also have to get a permit, say if we want to drive a car and for many other things as well. But the word just simply means, again, you are allowed. How about authorize? They authorized me to enter. Well, not only does that mean you're allowed and you're permitted, it also suggests that someone who is in a position of authority is allowing you to enter or to do what it is that you're asking to do. If I give you my assent, to give someone your assent is to agree and approve of what they would like to do. In other words, you're saying, it's just fine with me. I give you my assent. Now, we all know when we're driving, we have to stop at red lights, and we can go when the light turns green. So remember, if an English speaker says, yeah, I give you the green light, or you've been green lighted, that means you can go and do whatever it is you're requesting to do. And please remember, stop at red lights, don't drive right through them. That's a little bit dangerous. Wait for it to turn green when you're allowed to go. And of course, we have just the good old-fashioned okay, probably the most common one. When someone says to you, that's okay with me, then that's another way of saying, it's just fine with me, I have no problem with it. Don't forget, we are also still on our Facebook page, Talk School of English. If you find these videos helpful, please give me a thumbs up and feel free to hit that subscribe button. Thank you. Hello again, all. This is Jack at the Talk School of English here in Phnom Penh, the capital of Cambodia, the Kingdom of Wonder. We have a new weekend term that will be starting on Saturday, December 1st. If you have any interest, please contact us and schedule a placement test. It only takes a short amount of time. Today, the word we're going to talk about is stick. Stick is one of these words in English that has many meanings. It's a very flexible word. So let's look at a few examples of how we might use it. Now, first of all, something that sticks, the past tense is stuck. If my hands are sticking together, that means I can't get them apart. So, for example, glue makes things stick together. When you want to put one thing and attach it to another, you use glue and stick it together. But we also use the word like this. Friendship makes people stick together. So me and my friends and you your friends, you probably stick together. You like to hang out together. You're often on the same side of things. You like to be there for each other. It means we stick together with our family, with our friends. All right, now what if someone says, stick with it? Well, it doesn't mean stick yourself to something. To stick with it means to keep going or don't give up. For example, you're trying to learn a new language. You're trying to learn English. Stick with it. Keep going, don't give up. If you stick with it, eventually you'll succeed. How about if someone says, hey, stick around? Well, to stick around simply means don't go anywhere. Stay here, don't leave, okay? If my mom tells me to stick around the house, she has some things for me to do Saturday morning, she's telling me don't leave, stay where I can find you. And obviously, stick can also be a verb. For example, don't stick anything in your ear. I don't want to stick a marker in my ear. It might hurt. Or in this case, it'll turn my ear blue. So we don't want to do that. Don't stick anything in your ear. And of course, stick can be a noun. For example, my grandfather uses a walking stick. He leans on it while he's walking. He's a little old man now. He needs a little help. He can still walk, but he needs a little bit of support. If you have any questions, as always, the friendly staff here will be happy to answer any questions. And again, you can always find me right here on Facebook. Thank you. Hello again, this is Jack here at the Talk School of English in Phnom Penh, Cambodia. Thank you and welcome to our Facebook page. Our new weekend term is beginning on Saturday, March 16th, weekdays on Monday, March 18th, and please feel free to join us on Sunday, March 10th. If you come here from 4 o'clock to 5:30, free of charge, we will talk about the benefits of learning English right here in Cambodia. What we're going to talk about this lesson are some more words that make similar sounds. These are all words that are pronounced very closely. They sound almost the same, but not quite, and they mean very different things. So let's look at our examples. I have hunting and haunting, or hunt and haunt. Well, to hunt for something is like when we go into the forest and we go looking for animals. But you can also be, say, hunting for your keys in your house. I lost my keys, I'm hunting for them. To hunting is to search for something. That's what it means. Haunting, well, that's like when I have ghosts in my house. But it doesn't have to just be ghosts. I could be haunted by a memory. Something bad that happened to me. But the point is that the words sound similar, but they mean very different things. Here's our next example. Slipping, sleeping. Well, if I slip, that means maybe the floor was wet and my feet came out from under me and I fell on the floor. Sleeping, well, that's what I do in the middle of the night. Between the time I go to bed and the time I wake up the next morning, I'm sleeping. Very similar sound. Bear, beer. Bear, beer. A bear is a big animal. Well, unless it's a panda bear. Panda bears don't get as big, but they can get pretty big too. But big grizzly bears and polar bears, they get huge. But the point is they're big, giant animals. Well, beer is something I might drink on a holiday. Okay, so two very similar sounding words don't mean the same thing at all. And finally, sure, sure. Sure, I'll give you a ride to work today. It's just an affirmative that lets you know that I agree or I'm in compliance. I'm okay with something. Shore? Well, that's where the ocean meets the land. That's where the sea meets the beach. All of these words sound very similar, so be careful when you're listening and if you're not sure, please be certain to ask the speaker that you're listening to clarify. That means to make things more clear. Don't forget, we also have a channel on YouTube, also known as the Talk School of English. And as always, thank you very much for tuning in and watching me right here on our Facebook page.